Okay, this is my rocket stove, soon to be a heater of some sort. I've got a makeshift cross up there for heating up a pot just to test it out. This is the second design basically of this same unit. The case that it's in is actually a real thick gauge single drawer file cabinet from government offices from the 70s. It had a slide in drawer. That's why there's a rivet here and some stops here. But anyways, I got rid of the drawer a long time ago, and I had this, and it was just holding scrap wood. The pipes, well, let me go back to this. This is about 24 inches tall, if I'm not mistaken. And it's not quite as wide. It's got a heavy gauge wall, 4-inch diameter pipe for the exhaust, and the case itself, or it's insulated with enough bricks to fill a milk crate. These are some sort of a fire brick. We've had them forever. We were going to do something with a fire pit and we never did, so they've just been sitting. So there's probably 5 courses of these, and there's a couple underneath, and they encase it. And then this is vermiculite. Now a lot of people, I know myself, whenever I was watching YouTube trying to figure out what vermiculite, where to get it, how to get it. I don't know if I still have it. Yeah. If you guys are going to Home Depot or Lowe's, whoever it is this stuff. It's the stuff that they sell at the store. And there's 2 bags that's up there. Just make sure this one, it's, if you see it, which I don't know with the glare if you can see it, it says vermiculite 100%. So there's no additives on this. The other one had some sort of an additive for gardening, but I went with the stuff that was straight, and I don't see any problems with it. The outside of the case gets warm to the touch, but not too bad. On the front it gets a little bit hotter, and I'll show you why here in a second. Anyways, the 4-inch pipe, that heavy gauge 4-inch pipe, goes down. It has a foot on it. Basically the plate that I put on the bottom to seal it off. And then out the front, I've changed this design about 3 times. Anyways, I'm not a welder. I'm a mechanic. I just have a welder here to fix things that may break. And none of them are structural or real significant. So this is just, the welder that I have is just one of those Campbell Hossfield ones. Nothing high tech or anything like that. So just excuse the welds because they're not that good. And you'll see some, I don't know how else to describe it, putty that goes around to hold the vermiculite in, where the sheet metal wasn't quite all the way up against the chamber there. And it's actually that stuff they sell in auto parts store. It's quick steel putty. It's probably not a good idea. It can't handle too much heat, but it did the job. So anyways, the reason this thing looks like Frankenstein is because I've cut it, I've put it together, I tried it out. I didn't like that the heat was too far out of the chamber inside. You know, I couldn't trap the heat because it was heating up outside. I wanted something that was self-feeding. I wanted something that could run on wood pellets also. And that's basically why I'm posting this video. Inside that box goes down to that 4-inch pipe. And of course is welded direct. And it's kind of at a 45-degree angle. And I wanted to have an air source that was specific, that wasn't going to be interfered. If you look here, there's where most of the air enters. And I don't know if you can see it. I'll try to get this camera down where it's close. There's a grate that's fabricated. I think I have photos of it. I may be able to post those in the link, or I'm sorry, in a break in the video maybe. Anyways, that grate allows those wood pellets to just kind of sit there, and the air to get burned off, or to burn them off till they're real small, till they fall in, and you can see down in there a few of them. They're just little pellets. Now, the reason I'm going back to, or like I said, posting this video, I was having a problem with everything until I got this cheap expanded metal, which you can see it, and I just kind of formed it and stuck it down in there, allowing enough air to go across the top also. And this thing's been running for probably about 30 minutes, I guess, and I haven't had to touch it, had to move it, had to wiggle it, had to do anything to it. It's feeding itself. It took me a little while to get the right angle and everything. And this hopper here, this thing was full all the way to the top, and it just feeds itself, and it works great. You can see there's some flame, really no smoke. I've had the garage doors closed for over 3 hours, and there's some lingering in here, but that's because I was screwing around with it. Sometimes I caused it to feed too much, and then sometimes it wasn't feeding enough, and it was burning up the feed chamber a little bit more than it should. Anyways, we'll try to look down in here, and you can see that flame's been like that for 30 minutes, and like I said, I haven't touched anything. It just keeps on feeding itself. Looks like I'm gonna have to put some more in there, but the feeder's kind of nice. I've got such a gap in there that you can see they're starting to heat up, they're starting to get hot, and that's not really where they're supposed to burn. That's just where they catch fire and get just small enough that they'll drop. Now normally when they drop, because they're all different shapes and sizes, and excuse me while I grab a stool here, my knees aren't what they used to be. They'll sometimes they feed a lot, sometimes they feed a little. Like right now it looks like it's feeding just a little, but whenever they drop, they go down, they stop on that grate, because that grate, on the end of it, there's little lips. I took and actually cut the grate, and it was hooked to a pipe at one point, and those little lips come in handy because they just kind of hang on to them. I shouldn't say lips. They're just kind of like if you bent your fingers, sort of like a hoe, and they those pellets will go down and they'll sit on that grate and burn until they just fall through. Up here, the only reason they're burning is for the self-feeding part. Now I'm going to knock some down in there because it looks like I need to fill it, and I don't think that it will take these. You know, I'll leave it. We'll see what happens. But I wanted to show you that you could make a self-feeder. I know that I checked into those power screws, and they're expensive. I'm going to show you the wood pellets here. This is from Tractor Supply. It's inexpensive. I think it was $5 for this bag. It's a 40-pound bag, and it's nice. It's doing a good job. But one thing I noticed about these stoves, unfortunately, we're not in a third world country, and we're a little impatient, I think. When I go out camping, what I was ultimately trying to do is make some sort of a heater that I might be able to put inside of a tent that, you know, I'll vent outside, or something that I could bring along and cook with, because at the campgrounds, at least all the state campgrounds that are around here, they sell wood bundles. I think they're anywhere from $5 to $7 a bundle. And in their fire rings, I mean, we burn them pretty quick just to cook our meal. I have 2 teenagers and then my wife. And it seems like that we're spending more money than we really should just to go camping. The whole reason we went camping is to keep it cheap and still have fun. So I wanted to bring this along, or make something that I could bring along and cook with, or which I think I'm going to end up putting of course I'm going to seal this off, and then I'll put some sort of a reclaimer here, and then have this part heat itself, and then that reclaimer, I don't know what I'm going to do. I might run some exhausting through it somehow and power it with a fan, which I have an old fan from a hot tub that we had years ago, and it's about the right size and everything. But anyways, the self-feeding part is really nice because, like I said, we're not in a third world country where I can, unfortunately, I don't want to sit around and watch a fire and push the sticks in. That's what I see everybody do whenever they post their videos. It seems like that they just started the fire's going real good, and they're pushing the sticks in. So that means not only you got to watch your food, prepare your food, do whatever, but you're also pushing those sticks in to feed the fuel. So I wanted a self-feeder. I like some of the designs that they have that I've seen on a couple of the YouTube videos that, which I've watched hundreds of them, almost all the Japanese ones also, which theirs are really nice. They seem to have it down pat. You can see how it just fed itself a little more there. But anyways, I want to be able to just put the fuel in, start the fire, get it going, and be able to do whatever I want, knowing that this is going to, I don't have to regulate the fire. It's going to just feed itself. So anyways, I'm sure everybody's going to be able to, if anybody's interested in this, they can tinker with it, they can figure it out just as easy as I did, or not so easily, as you can tell by all the cuts and welds. But it makes it a lot nicer. Like I said, it seems to be working really well, and I would hope that this video will have somebody to get somebody to where they may want to try it out themselves and actually do better than me, because honestly, I was really at wit's end with this. I've had this thing and I fire it up about every other day, and then I come out and I watch the fire and I screw around with sticks, and I was trying to see how I could do something with these pellets that I bought, and it didn't seem like there was anything I could do. I was trying there for a while, putting about 5 or 6 sticks in to get the fire going real well, get a little bit of a amber charcoal bed going at the bottom of the exhaust there, and then putting in some pellets, and they kind of fed around the sticks, but most of them got held back, but it just wasn't the way that I wanted. It just didn't do what I wanted. So anyways, this is sweet. This is doing exactly what I wanted. Like I said, this video's going on about 14 minutes here, and you can see the flames exactly like it was, and I still haven't touched this thing. It just keeps on feeding itself, and it doesn't look like it makes a difference as far as the hopper. Like I said, I started with it completely full. I still have a hard time believing that these are going to make it all the way down there, but they might. I mean, gravity should take care of it. I just didn't smooth out the surface that they're sliding on that much. Matter of fact, it's pieced together metal. I don't even know what. I think there's some 16 gauge there, and there's some angle iron on the sides, and then there's some heavier gauge. I don't even know what it was from. This was supposed to be cheap and pieced together. Other really than the vermiculite that I'd bought and the wood pellets, this was just scraps that I had laying around from who knows what. But I'm trying to show you about the size of the gap that's in that bottom. And this expanded metal, it's real thin. I don't know if the heat's going to cause a problem with that, because we have a grill, an outdoor fire pit, I should say, and it's got some heavier gauge stuff, and even that, after a while, it just burns. So, but it doesn't make a difference. I'll try this lesser weight stuff first to see how it lasts, and then we'll go from there. If it burns through, I'll put something else in there. But right now, this thing's just sitting in there. It's just tension that's holding it in there. It's a clearance fit that's holding it in there. And like I said, it seems to be doing pretty well. I'm going to try, since the video's on, I'll end up closing up the video here in a second. I'm going to try pushing all this down here real quick and see. A bunch of it's going to shoot through, but let's see if it clogs up again. Looks like it clogged up a little bit. So what will happen is you can hear it really, I don't know what else to say, rocketing. You can hear the roar of what I just pushed in there. Once that burns down, that flame will find its way, or that fire will find its way up to the stuff that's in the expanded metal that's holding it back. It will start burning that at a slower rate than what's the stuff that's being burned down into the combustion chamber right now. And as it gets smaller, it'll go ahead and start releasing itself back down into there. The sound that it's making now is, of course, you can see still quite a bit of a flame going on there, and the heat's. Let's see. We'll see what the heat's reading. It looks like it's about 300 degrees right on this area here. This is probably the hottest part that's not part of the combustion. I don't know how to describe it. It's wasted heat, and I was trying to get away from that as much as possible. Before my first design, it was like 500 degrees out here, and I was losing all that. You can see it's 400 on this chamber where it's burning just inside, but that's nothing compared to, of course, down in here, which we're talking, it maxed out. It was over 1,000 degrees, so it's burning. It's doing what it's supposed to do. Still no smoke, and I'm really happy with it. I don't normally commentate on videos that I post. I just let everybody take a look at what I've got and make decisions on their own. But I wanted to definitely comment on this because it turned out a lot better than I thought. I see a lot of the videos that are posting that say, "Oh, look, I made a rocket stove," and you can see the smoke just roaring out the top. Some of them just fired it up, but some of them didn't. I've actually seen a couple people with the galvanized pipes, which I know that's it got some sort of a chemical in it that's toxic. It's poisonous whenever it gets heated past, I think, 500 degrees, which these run at 1,100 in some of the some parts of it, even up to 1,600 in some parts. But once that galvanized burns off, everything's okay. I would just be afraid that I didn't get it hot enough, and that for whatever reason one day the wind was blowing just right, and I thought I had all the galvanized treatment burned out of the pipe, but I didn't. And lo and behold, now I'm breathing in toxic fumes. But anyways, as you can see, it's still going along, and it's about time for me to refill it. So this has been burning for over 50 minutes now, and it's just been self-feeding. And like I said, going back to it, this whole screen thing that's just, I've seen this before. It's a self-feeding thing. It's like what it is? It's like a dog feeder or a cat feeder, an automatic one that's just off gravity, or even a water. Once the material is removed, I mean, it's only natural that gravity's going to allow the rest, the next fresh batched water, whatever, to be pulled down. But it's really nice. I mean, here we go. I mean, that flame's still burning just like it should. I think I'm going to have to refill it and see how long I can let it go, and see if I can actually change the temperature in the garage, just the 2-car garage. But it might, and this is a disaster because I've been screwing around with it. I was thinking about using that for either another rocket stove, or as a reclaimer, or I should say not a combustion chamber, but a heat transfer, to where the heat that's coming out would fill that, and then I would exhaust it out the bottom, and then maybe run some tubes through that. I still haven't decided, but anyway, sorry the video's so long, and I'm even more long-winded, but I definitely wanted to let you guys see what was going on here, and let you realize that this could be done, because I looked at a lot of videos and I only seen a couple that were trying to feed it with alternate fuels other than just sticks. And I understand the significance of burning with the sticks, because, you know, going to the campgrounds, they're everywhere. Those little twigs are what everybody doesn't want whenever they're out looking for wood. And at least in Ohio, all the state parks tell you that you can gather all the wood that's on the ground. They just don't want you removing anything, and they don't want you out there with big branches or anything like that either. But again, let me show you real quick the side, just so you can get an idea. You can see there's the hopper. It kind of goes down into another chamber, and in the meantime, that's just air that's, you know, being fed from the bottom. And then there's a grate. Probably that grate is about, it's kind of a rounded half moon shape, and I think at the biggest it's maybe 3 inches. Maybe not even that. Actually, it's probably no, I guess about 3 inches at its highest point, and then tapers down to nothing on the sides. But boy, it's doing a good job. I'm really happy with this. If you guys have any comments, I usually try to respond to them, and I know this isn't all guys that have subscribed to my other videos, I know this isn't along lines of my normal stuff, which is all about mainly mopeds or cars. But I definitely wanted to show you a project that actually turned out pretty decent, although again, I think I'm going to call this the Frankenfurnace, because it definitely got some ugly welding going on there. All right, thanks a lot, and again, just comment or send an email.